Hey, this is Ava, and today I'll be talking about how to build an argument. I like to think that building an argument is sort of like baking a cake. There are a few different steps you need to keep in mind, the 5 main categories being meaning, development, organization, style, and conventions. Meaning is the main part of our argument, sort of like how the layers of cake and frosting make up a cake. Claims in an argument are usually about, but are not limited to, your opinion or stance on a particular issue. You need to have a strong claim that's specific and can be proven with evidence. For example, saying classes should start later because I'm tired in the morning is not a very strong claim because it's very vague. To make it stronger, you could say high school hours should begin later in the morning because students, or more specifically teens, need more time to sleep in and achieve at least 8 hours of sleep to increase their focus and improve both mental and physical health. Now that's much more specific, and it can be proven with evidence like statistics or studies that show that being well rested makes students healthier and more attentive in class. You also need to build a strong conclusion, but we'll talk more about that later. Our second category is development. Development is like the ingredients that make up our cake. We can support our claim by using the rhetorical appeals, logos, pathos, and ethos. Logos uses statistics, or even just reasoning to support a claim. Just watch out for logical fallacies that may present your argument in a way that doesn't make sense and might even lose your audience. Pathos is a way of evoking feelings and emotions in the audience in the form of personal stories or anecdotes that are relevant to your topic. Ethos is a way of using reputation, whether it be your own or that of an expert on the topic. Another way to develop a strong argument is by addressing counterclaims and refuting them. An example of a counterclaim to our claim from earlier would be, students should get to bed earlier and adjust their sleep schedules to maintain 8 hours of rest per day. Then you can make the counter-argument that students receive homework that they need to work on after school, and many high schoolers also have part-time jobs on top of all that work, making it impossible for them to get to bed earlier. Next is organization. This is like the way you stack your cake and frosting. An argument should have a claim followed by evidence and reasoning, otherwise known as the CER method, and they should be organized in a way that the audience is able to differentiate between claims, evidence, and counterclaims. Because no one really wants to eat a cake with frosting and cake all mushed up into one pile, you want to keep the different textures and flavors separate. The style category revolves around one big factor, your audience. You want to know who you're presenting your argument to and who you're trying to persuade. Going back to our cake metaphor, it's like making a cake for different occasions. A kid's birthday cake is going to be different from a wedding cake. In your argument, your tone and the language you use to present your information should depend on your target audience. You wouldn't present statistics or use large, complicated words when talking to 7-year-olds, much like how you wouldn't be as informal or use abbreviations around an elderly audience. And it's not just age groups either. Your audience's race, gender, and level of education are also very important to keep in mind. Now we're almost there, just one more category. Conventions. Conventions are like the recipe for our cake. There are certain rules and standards that you need to follow in order to effectively persuade your audience. For example, be sure not to plagiarize, and do remember to cite any sources you used in your argument. Conventions also include your conclusion, which should explain the importance and significance of the issue you're talking about. Like, why does this issue even matter? The audience should be left with a call to action or something to think about. You should also proofread for grammar and/or spelling errors, but that's usually towards the end when you're editing. And that's about it. If you remember to keep in mind the recipe, ingredients, and presentation, writing an argument should be a piece of cake. And that's the end. Thanks for listening. Bye.